Today we're paying a revisit to these two 52-inch Sears ceiling fans. Model number 902.904210. Both fans date to 1982, 3-speed, electrically reversible, in brown, with walnut square tip blades with a 14-degree blade pitch. Standard Emerson mount on the top there with bell canopy. We'll come over here and give you a look at the tag on the fan here, since this one's easier to get to than the other one. Both fans are powered with the Emerson K55 motor. All the housing components on the fan are plastic, canopy is plastic. Switch housing and switch cap are also plastic. These fans were around late 70s, going into no later than 1984. Of course, Emerson made their own version called the Designer Series. This was Sears' take on it, which had their Sears design here looking like a turn of the century. Sears never had any kind of actual model names for these fans, so we just have to go off of the model numbers. This one here, as being 1982, is the first year that these became electrically reversible. The older ones were non-reversible. And the older ones had plastic faux wood grain blades. This is the first year I've seen these with wood blades. I think 1983 they went with a KB55 motor. And like I said, I think they lasted no later than 1984. So they're interesting fans. I've had a few come through my hands over the years. Two older ones from 1981 with the plastic blades. And then these two here that I picked up from a Habitat Restore 7-odd-some years ago. When I filmed them originally, they were in my game room, dual installed in there. So not much else to say about it. Unfortunately, I cannot run both these fans at the same time, being how close they are together. So I'll run this one in Downdraft, and then the other one is set to Updraft. So we'll start this one up on low. Sears also made these in white as well, and they made more deluxe models with faux antique brass and faux polished brass finishes. The deluxe models had blade badges on them and stencil blades, while these here just had no blade badges and plain blades. These are fairly basic fans that Sears sold, because I think the turn of the century still was sold around this time period, so that was definitely their top of the line fan. These are more of a budget friendly fan that Sears sold. But on low speed here, we're doing around 40 RPM. Pretty nice and aesthetic. You might notice that I had to replace the capacitor in this one, as it was dead when I first put it up. So we'll take it to medium here. As you can see, it has a pretty significant wobble to it. Most likely due to balancing issues. Right here we're doing around 100 RPM. Bearings on the fan are in pretty good shape. They make a very slight noise, but other than that, runs pretty well. And let's take it to high. High speed here, we're only doing around 140 RPM. Not too terribly fast, but with the 14-degree blade pitch, it still throws out a decent breeze. Now what's interesting is that the older models with the plastic blades have 13-degree blade pitches. So I'm not sure if Emerson upped the ante on the blade pitch because these wood blades are much lighter than the plastic blades that the older ones used. The oldest K63 models from the late 70s had a 15-degree blade pitch, as those essentially were just a decorative heat fan, as they used the same motor as the heat fan, and likely even the same capacitor value. This fan here also has the same motor as the heat fan, but I believe the capacitor value is detuned to serve a more practical residential application. Hence why it's going so slow, but they up the ante on the blade pitch to still move a decent amount of air. So we'll go ahead and shut this one off, and I'm going to have to stop this. And I got to take my tape chalk off of this one. Set this one out of the way and chalk this one up so it doesn't move in the wind. That way the blades don't strike each other. And let's jump in and start this one up on low. And like I said, it's set to updraft. This one still has its original capacitor in it, which is the same value, 10 microfarad, as the replacement one that I put in the other one. But the capacitor itself is much larger in size, which shouldn't really matter, but it is noteworthy. So low speed here, we're doing around 45 RPM. Slightly faster than Downdraft, but I can't really compare as this one has its original capacitor in it, so it may be slightly different. Still has a decent wobble on medium on this one as well, also from a balancing issue. Since these fans were twinned together, probably installed in the same room in their original install before I got them, the blades likely got mixed up between the two. Medium speed here, we're doing 110 RPM. And high. You see a pull chain there swinging around there. Quite comical to see. But on high speed here, we're doing 150 RPM. I didn't calculate the RPMs on this one in Updraft to compare, but I would imagine they'd be about the same. But despite the wobble, also a smooth running fan, virtually no bearing noise, and still moves a decent amount of air with the 14-degree blade pitch. And that's all I got. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the two 52-inch Sears ceiling fans by Emerson, model 292.904210 from 1982. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Stay cool. Take care. Peace.